Alright, hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. This time around we're going to be looking at the patch 5.4 Futures Rewritten trailer. This will be my live analysis of this and a bit of speculation, but also looking at the trailer. So this is a 2-minute 50 trailer, so let's have a go at that then, shall we? And we'll pause as we go.
Well, to be received by such an illustrious cast.
Straight off the bat, we've got Fan Daniel there with a familiar voice actor, and we're heading straight in. Wait a minute, let's have a look at this. So this looks to be Alamigo, right? Because this is Alamigan architecture. This could probably be, let's see, the Royal Menagerie or something like that, because you've got the flowers here, I believe. So kind of where we fought Shinryu, by the looks of it. So it does make sense, because obviously Fan Daniel being from Garlemald, obviously walking over into Alamigo. Interesting. Listen to what he says.
To be received by such an illustrious cast.
So, well, to be received by such an illustrious cast. So presumably that includes all of the Scions, not just, you know, yourself being there as the Warrior of Light. So that's interesting. It does show where we're going for that patch. They show Creative Business Unit 3, their new logo, which is glorious. You'll remember this being seen on certain other trailers. Straight away, we've got this, which, by the way, I mean, if we pause this very slowly, you'll see this is the Royal Menagerie. We have the flowers, so this is where we fought Shinryu, by the looks of it. If we sort of skitch around a little bit on this, you'll see that this kind of looks a little bit like Bahamut, or maybe like a little bit... It's got a little bit of Veilfor to it, hasn't it? But it's mostly the tail that reminds me of Bahamut. But it's got all this weird sort of void stuff going on. Very interesting. Like these look like void tendrils or something. It's got a face very similar to like a Bahamut as well, especially with this sort of like neck thing. Definitely sort of like Elder Primal sort of material, isn't it? So is this the form of Fan Daniel then? Is this what we're seeing here? We've got this lovely half moon here above Alamigo. Presumably we're still fighting there because of the Royal Menagerie being below. But look at all of these twisted little coiled spikes and all these feathers. Very different, very interesting.
Fan Daniel.
Introduces himself as I am Fan Daniel.
And may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
Again, our character then has not actually physically met Fan Daniel yet. We've only seen Fan Daniel in the end of patch 5.3 at that ending, which was very interesting indeed, especially considering we saw Fan Daniel basically in the guise of Asahi Sas Brutus, which is obviously Tsukiyomi's, Yotsuyu's brother, right? So, that lifeless corpse, question mark. Next up, we have this scene of Garlemald seemingly invading. This is what I expected to happen all those, years ago with Stormblood. I expected there to be a swift retaliation, and this seems to be like it. So whilst we've been in Shadowbringers, presumably they've just been sat on their hands for a bit, preparing for this. But this looks very much like a Garlean invasion. Looks like Fan Daniel is taking the reins and providing this counterattack. That's why we're over at Alamigo, and that's why there was fire and rubble. This scene here, though, is definitely something to do with Emerald Weapon. Obviously, this will be part of the new Sorrow of Whirlite storyline. We do have this large submarine. Obviously, in Final Fantasy VII, where you fight Emerald Weapon first, is in an underwater reactor. There's also a sequence where you fight Emerald Weapon underwater. You drive a submarine into him, basically. You're piloting a submarine, and then the fight starts there, pretty much on the deck of it, or whatever you want to call it, underwater. And there's a timer on that as well, and all sorts of things. But this looks like to be either the entrance to the underwater sort of castrum reactor-y thingy, or at least, access way to it. Very interesting. I like the submarine, though. That's very cool. I don't think we've seen a submarine before in the game yet.
Early reports say
This bit appears to be, it looks very much like a part of Bosja, but I'm not sure. All of this stuff is like erupting from the ground, right? Stuff is erupting through the ground. This isn't just stuff hitting the floor.
Huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble.
Huge swathes of the Imperial thingy have been reduced to, the capital have been reduced to rubble. So that then means that this is part of the Imperial capital. You can tell this as well by the blue tiles. This we saw as part of the Emerald, a part of the weapon series at Sorrow of Warlight, where we went to that particular town on that island. Same sort of architecture. This is Garlean architecture.
Reports say huge swathes of the Imperial.
So who have we got here? We've got Kryl, we've got Alphino and Alisay, we've got Matoya, question mark. We have Grahatir, obviously, our version. We have Thancred, we have Little Bugger, and we also have none other than the guy who always speaks in cryptic words, and obviously Lise is doing the talking here. This looks to be in the Rising Stones, so presumably she's come to the Rising Stones to say, Alamigo's in trouble.
Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble.
Very cool. Still wearing the same earrings. This is Emerald Weapon. This is quite interesting. This is a laser ability. So it looks like he does like this 360 laser attack. We've got a white mage using Temperance over here. Interesting. These beams look from those like eye slots. Those like laser beam things. I don't know what they're called. Vaporizing, so we do a 360, then you'll see that these arms detach from the boss and they're going around the arena, and it looks like they fire projectiles to one half of the arena, whilst he also does this weird laser beam cleansy thing. Yeah, look, one half of the arena. Very Tsukiyomi, actually, kind of filling the room there. Very interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look too difficult. I think those balls are actually moving as well, aren't they? Yeah. So the balls are moving at the same time as the laser beams. So you've got balls to deal with after 2 sets of AoEs. Interesting. This is the dude from that's always naked in the Sorrow of Warlight questline. One of the Aura people. One of the should we call them the sons of Gaius? I don't think that's too inappropriate. He's probably going to be the guy piloting the Emerald Weapon. And there's more Emerald Weapon. And we tabbed out accidentally. There we go. It looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? This sequence, again, with Sorrow of Warlight. Being dragged off by the elder brother, quote-unquote. Presumably, then, that indicates that she was trying to stop whoever it is from piloting this, and the other guy, obviously the other Aura, is pulling her away. She's trying to stop him. He does it anyway. He gets in the pilot seat, and we have this. Oh, this is such a beautiful image. Like, this is gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Like, the detail on this. Now, I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, so to see Emerald Weapon, oh my goodness, it is so good. I hope we see Diamond at some point as well. We got Sid involved here.
If you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Alligans.
If you need to achieve that which even eluded the storied Alligans, yes. So we've got this stuff. Where is this?
It seemed
we have ourselves a character that I'm not sure of, a hologram.
plain that you would
And oh right, these are Dogi and Una, right?
require my expertise.
It would seem you would require my expertise. So this is something to do with...
Expertise.
What is this boss, actually? This is where it gets tricky to see what anything is.
Require my expertise.
Some kind of rock golem thingy. Almost impossible to tell where that is, apart from the fact that Grahatir is here, so this is part of a new dungeon. So what we're seeing is one of the bosses in the dungeon then, because they're using trusts for this. There's the Warrior of Darkness. Ah, this is in the Matoya one, isn't it? In the Matoya dungeon, Matoya's relict. Because we've seen these weird singing squidgy things that people have been making fan art on. Also, look at this cloud effect. It's almost like something from Akami. It's like cel-shaded clouds. Very interesting. Then we have Master Matoya herself, or Y'shtola.
A mere drop in the ocean for the great sword.
A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya.
I dare say.
So this is part of the trials. This bit's hilarious. This is a giant Pigu King. Giant Pigu, like Bacon Bits, his lord and savior. It looks like that's not a good idea to run towards that. Oh no, because it'll do a pushback, right? So what they're doing is they're running towards it to be pushed back into this safe zone. That makes sense. I wondered why they were running into an AoE. Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. Interesting. And then it follows up with explosions of bacon proportions. Next up, we have a lot of Bosjar stuff. We have, of course, got Makoto over here, who's not happy because it looks like somebody in one of those suits of armor, like General Bashtar, is confronting her. Then we've got this woman who's totally not a traitor, by the way.
Of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat.
Full extent of the threat. So this is part of, I think this is part of Delabrum Regine, right? Sort of like the 24 player to 48 player Savage. So there's a 24 player normal instance underneath Bosja Southern Front. And this is what it's supposed to look like, I believe.
Not least if it
This is more Bosja storyline.
should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows.
If it does, yeah, so if Xenos is working from a shadow. So the dialogue over here is actually from Oriange relating to the main storyline, but what you're seeing on screen is actually part of Delbrum Regine and the Bosjan Southern Front. You have a load of people here. This is one of the bosses, which, you know, we've seen before.
From the shadows.
More cutscene stuff. Right, this is from the main storyline. This is quite interesting. So it looks like something's happening around the world. Meryl Webb's over here because obviously it's part of Lenosha.
What in the world is that?
What in the world is that? This is some weird tower thing, and it's Asian by design, I believe, or at least in some way. So this is like the floating city of Nim, isn't it? Like the Nimian architecture. It's very ancient stuff. And then we've got this floating... I mean, is this floating or is that floating islands in front of it? Either way, this thing looks like something out of StarCraft. But it's definitely emanating something to the sky. It reminds me of the sort of tech you would see to raise the ground to create stuff like Azizlar, maybe like drain the ground or something. I'm not sure. But it does look like there's towers all around the world, right? Because we have... a tower over in Lenosha, and then we have this tower. Then this is obviously in Girabania. We've got Alamigo here, so this is like some outer province of that. So all around the world, then we can speculate, are all these towers beaming up into the sky. This does not bode well, does it? This looks like an apocalyptic sort of event, another attempt at a sundering or something. I mean, that is a nice looking tower, by the way. What excites me about this is it's something completely different we've not seen before, and we're finally starting to see the full extent of, you know, the mysteries that this world holds. It's not quite as just as simple as, you know, our world being as basic as it is. There's plenty of secrets hidden under the ground that could appear at any moment. This excites me to no end. I really want to know what this is about. Then we've got this again. This definitely looks like still part of Delabrum Regine or whatever the... What's it called? I don't know. Is it Delabrum Regine? But we've got this being the 24-player stuff then. We've got 3 paths here, at least 3 thingies. And then we've got a little arena over here and then different parts. Maybe split up mechanics and stuff like we had with Castrum Lacus Litore. I have no idea.
Though his is a power born of the desire...
This then is interesting because we have Meryl Webb visiting, well, Titan's domain. Now we know Titan is going to be the next Unreal trial, but I'm not quite sure what this pertains to. Maybe them meeting up with the Amalja or whatever it is, just so that we can, so that she can talk to them and say, like, yeah, the world's going to crap. Do you know anything about this? I don't know.
For salvation, we have seen the
So there's Laha Bread.
havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that...
So much happening in this. So much happening. Actually, that's not a Laha Brea, is it?
The havoc it may wreak.
Interesting. I'm not sure who that is. I don't recognize that. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me.
And it falls to us to ensure
That looked like a Sundered guy. Like he'd been tempered rather by a primal. And if he's walking through here, it's probably Lakshmi, is it?
us to ensure that it is never again brought to
This is an interesting thing. This could be, well, anywhere really. This is probably the dungeon, right?
bear upon this star.
It could be the 8-player. I don't know. I'm not sure where this is. I'm not sure where this could be. Oh, I know where this is. This is the throne room. That was the throne of Alamigo, right? This is in in Alamigo. Interesting.
Again brought to bear upon this star.
This is interesting. We have this large tunnel leading to this really beautiful tree thing. Very interesting. I have no idea where this is or what this is representing.
We shall draw your memories from you.
We shall draw your memories from you. Don't know what that means, and I don't think it has anything related to the fact that Grahatir is now channeling energy into something. Then there's this, which appears to be a different kind of, maybe a solo trial or something, where we're playing alongside Merylweb. There's all these, like, golems in Titan's domain. Very interesting.
Whatever stands in our way.
This is Blue Mage, by the way. That's one of the new abilities, is a Blue Mage kick, right? Yeah, there's a kick attack. This is actually a masked carnival, as you can see with the circles.
In our way.
Then we have Gaia summoning her weapon.
We will never give up hope.
World of Darkness. So as we know, part of Eden, one of the bosses shown in the live letter was Cloud of Darkness, or a reimagining of her. For whatever reason, we're imagining the Void here. This is part of the World of Darkness, as you can tell. This then, I have no idea. This has to be part of Eden, right? No, it's got Lakeland background. No, this has to be part of Eden. So this looks like Cerberus, doesn't it? It's kind of like Cerberus from World of Darkness, but like, not quite. Yeah, that's definitely part of Eden. Now we have Reen looking at memories of her and Gaia. She's clearly like losing her grip on things. I don't know, maybe she's falling into darkness again. I strongly suggest that she is Ultimecia. I've said this before in my speculation, but I really think she is.
What?
Alphano and Alice A.
Why would you want such a thing?
Why would you want such a thing? So we're getting back to the MSQ there again. Yeah, this is actually in Alamigo, probably close to the top of the Royal Menagerie. They're responding to the threat of Fandaniel appearing, asking him why he would want such a thing. That Bahamut, though, looking like it's going to do Mega Flare or something. Then this is Cloud of Darkness. This is the actual fight. We saw this in the live letter. Some of the platforms disappear over time. And the longer you spend on a platform, it goes slight purple. And then you have to move platform. If it goes purple for too long, it falls through. This is going to be quite interesting with 8 people. And I'm sure the Savage will be fun.
I'm different, you see.
I'm different, you see. So this is, you know, the seat of the 14. Very interesting. Above the cosmos there.
From the ancients who clung
There's Zodiac.
to dear life, and
More Cloud of Darkness.
from you.
That was Cerberus. So they're showing... Wow, Cerberus can grab a sword like that. Yeah, so these are reimaginings of fights for Eden. We've got a reimagining of Cerberus, which for some reason has a sword. And we have a reimagining of Cloud of Darkness.
And from you.
So basically, Fandaniel is saying that he's different than the other Asians.
Who clung to dear life, and
So, like, who not like the ones who came before, who clung to dear life and you. So he knows that you're a Zem, basically. That's what that's telling me. Also, this is a beautiful shot of Cloud of Darkness. Very interesting. Look at this beautiful place in World of Darkness that we're fighting as an arena. All the eyes and weird stuff in the background. Our reimagining of this place is truly phenomenal.
From you.
That was her falling to darkness, like having a massive problem. It's almost like she's being possessed by an evil sorceress. What is this? This is the other question. Is this one of the other fights? Like, what on earth is this? This looks like a reimagining of Ravana. Or something. You know what I mean? Is this one of the other fights in Eden? What's with this tree thing? That looks so cool. Or maybe this is an amalgamation of so many fights before it. We've got the moon, we've got like Tsukiyomi things going on. Did we have like a weird moment where we created a brand new boss with like a million appendages from other fights? Because that's what this looks like. Is this the same fight? Unless, I mean, is this Cloud of Darkness again? Unless we speculate, oh no, this looks like we're back in Alamigo. I have absolutely not the foggiest what's going on. This looks like it's an amalgamation of millions of different fights. We've got Xenos, who treads over a sword and breaks it.
Your time draws near.
Your time draws near. Right? Which sounds very much like someone possessed by an evil sorceress. And she's falling to darkness. And there's a big clock behind her. I don't know if you've noticed this. Then we have this scene, which is showing, look at this. So we've got Titan, we've got Garuda, we've got Ramu, we've got Leviathan. And then,
Farewell, servant of light.
farewell, servant of light. And there's nothing but ticking clocks. So, obviously, Final Fantasy VIII with Ultimecia, all to do with time dilation, and time is a huge factor. The fact that she's falling into darkness.
Your time draws near.
There's a big clock behind her. This looks, it's just almost obvious to me that she is Ultimecia. Absolutely. It's almost like this is a guarantee now. Maybe she can turn back time. If we succeed. This is still fun though. What they've done here is they've shown the actual last fight. So this is boss 4. From the perspective of the boss, you're seeing people attack you, the boss, so that it's not giving anything away. But we've got the clock in the background, okay? And we've got all of this stuff going on as well. This is the new Eden gear as well, isn't it? Yeah. So, this is quite an interesting place. I would speculate that this is in the heart of Eden, and it's time-related, and we're getting Ultimecia.
Farewell, servant of light.
Like, the clock stops, and then it goes... Pshh. And there we go. That is the entirety of the trailer. And that's my little bit of an analysis of it and speculation. Hopefully you share some interest out of this. There's lots of stuff that I don't know what is. There's lots of references to things that I'm just like, I wonder what this is. What's this amalgamation of boss parts? You know, am I right about time dilation thing with the last Eden boss being Ultimecia, which is Gaia basically transforming? There's a good chance, isn't there? There is a good chance. Why is the quality dropped? There we go. Yeah, the World of Darkness stuff is amazing, though. The reimagining of, like, Cerberus and Cloud of Darkness. This whole thing doesn't make sense to me. The whole tree, the voices when Grahatir is channeling, that's like, we will absorb... what was it? I don't know what it said now.
Draw your memories from you.
Will draw your memories from you. You see, that sounds like a voice clip of Gaia. We will draw your memories from you. And she's got the two-tone voice. It's Ultimecia, isn't it? it's basically Ultimecia. I'm I'm going to put my money on it. This whole MSQ stuff, though, is hotting up. This is like Zodiac thingies. I think, out of speculation, if I was to speculate, these towers will erupt all around the world. A laser beam will shoot up, and it will actually be hitting the moon. And this is another plot to free Zodiac. I think that's what's going to happen. These look like a way to free Zodiac that they've been working on for millions of years or whatever. Definitely. That's what I would say. They're so out of the way and out of reach as well, in weird places. But if they're in Lenosha and then all the way over in Alamigo, then you know that this is a big deal. The Bosja stuff will be fun. Delabrum Regine, partially excited for. More MSQ, I'm really looking forward to that. Nero's return. Well, he's got to return at some point. The whole thing with Uni and Doga, no idea. Very interesting where that's going. Emerald Weapon's going to be fun. I do like the weapon series. I do think Emerald's going to be a fantastic boss. MSQ stuff with the fake Bahamut, quote unquote. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. So anyway, are you as excited for patch 5.4 as I am, which comes out on the 8th of December? Not long now, actually. It's the 1st of December tomorrow at the time of recording. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully I didn't miss too much. If you think I'm wrong or you think there's something that you've seen I haven't, feel free to correct me or talk in the comment section. I do love reading your comments and opinions, and I really, really am excited. So much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.